Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and it is Friday evening, which means it is time to smile. Now, for those of you who might be new to the broadcast, welcome. Always great to have new people on board. And to let you know that although we do attempt to keep the Friday evening broadcast a little lighter, sometimes it ends up getting more serious because people have issues and we let it go that way. For those of you who are new, really seriously, thank you for coming and joining us. You don't need to say anything, but if you do say anything, I might just check with you whether you want me to say it out loud, because this broadcast will go on a replay and it'll be on YouTube, for as long as it's there. And so I just want to make sure that it's okay that I talk about whatever it is you're talking about and or use your name. So I will check with you for that one. And for the people that I don't check with, it means I know them really well and they know the rules, which is if you're going to talk to me, and I'm going to mention what you're saying. Unless, even with the regulars, quite honestly, every now and then I say to them, are you sure you want me to talk about that? Okay, if you are not a subscriber, please do so. The reason I say that is because then you get advance warning of the broadcasts that we're doing. And please also make sure you follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. That's just Dear Mama Sal on them both. Dear Mama Sal on Facebook, Dear Mama Sal on Twitter. And the reason for that is I use Facebook and Twitter to announce the upcoming broadcast, but also I use Facebook as a sort of diary to let you know what's going on with viewers that you might meet along the way. And I think it's important because we are an extended family of really nice people who care about one another. And so if you're looking for an extended family because yours isn't doing a good job at the moment, you're going to find one here. We, like any family, won't always please you. And sometimes we may even do worse than that. But most of the time, we are here to support you. So this is awesome. For those of you who were at the lunchtime broadcast, it is now officially fall, in which case I will start by warning you. We do this every year. That you now have 88 days until Christmas, and I will be continuing the countdown and giving you heads up about getting different things going. That we have 4 months until Valentine's Day. For me, I like to keep track of it's only another 173 days until spring. I don't do winter well, so I do fall and then, spring. The bit in between, I just, don't deal with that very well. And so, so you're going to hear me count down a lot and talk a lot about fall and talk a lot about spring. The other thing is, for those of you who are that way inclined, it is 6 months until Easter. That's not very far away, is it? Amazing. All right, so that's our countdown for the week or day. And now, what we're going to be talking about today was we're going to be doing a bit of smiling, hopefully. And the reason I say that is because every week I try to find something that will make you guys smile a little. And today at lunchtime, we were talking about friendship. So I thought I'd find some quotes about friends. And oops, that wasn't it. Don't you hate it when you click on something and it gives you the wrong link? We can do this because we are very smart people. Okay, we don't want that one. Just bear with me 1 second. I had this all set up beautifully, and then, of course, I closed the wrong window. I'm sure you all know that feeling in whatever part of life you're in. In the meantime, hello to Isabel and to Jody and anybody else that is out there. Welcome. And I'm going to find these quotes. Best laid plans. All right, let's see what we can do here. All right, so you're all ready. So let's see what we can find. And that's not it either. Ah, definitely challenged today. We can do this. Don't quit. All right, let's see if this helps us a little bit more. How many of you relate to this one? Best friends don't care if your house is clean. They care if you've got wine. All right, so here we go. Are you ready for the next one? I'd walk through fire for my best friend. Well, not fire. That would be dangerous. But super humid room. Yeah, I'd walk through a wait a minute. But not too humid because, my hair. One of my favorite quotes about friendship, and boy, do I actually talk to my close friends about this one because it's so true. If you're lucky enough to find a weirdo, never let them go. How many of you've got a weirdo friend? Right? I got a couple. And I keep saying to them, the reason we have to stay together is because, there are not many weirdos in the world that are prepared to admit it. So, we definitely need to stick together. Right. How many of you think this one is so true about being friends? If I send you my ugly selfies, our friendship is real. If I send you a selfie or a pictures, where my cooking totally, flopped, or, the ones I don't put up on Instagram, you, okay, you're a real friend. In my case, it will be my artwork that doesn't quite go the way I want it to. It looked good when I did it, but then the drying gods did something terrible with it. The drying gods can be very nasty to me sometimes. I did a couple of trivets last week, and when they dried, they didn't look nearly as nice as when I did them, so I had to repaint them. All right, now how many of you can relate to this? It says friendship is so weird. You just pick a human that you've met, and you're like, "Yep, I like this one," and then you just go and do stuff with them. How many of you have done a background check first? How many of you have checked their bank balance, or, did they tell you the truth about what they do for a living? No, we just go, oh, I like this one. Yeah, Jody is saying if I send you my before pictures, right, before I tidy up type pictures, those sort of things, then you're a friend. Now, this one is very relevant to me. For those of you who don't know, I'm 72 and don't feel like it, but yeah, that's what I am. And this one says, we will always be friends until we're old and senile, and then we'll just be new friends. When I don't get to recognize you anymore, I'll probably pick you up as a new friend. Pick you up or pick you as a new friend, rather. Now, this one's very serious, so take this one. Take a breath. It's hard to find a friend who is cute, loving, generous, sexy, caring, and smart. My advice to you all is don't lose me I was showing the viewers at lunchtime. It's Marnie's birthday today, and this is a T-shirt that Marnie gave me one year. How many of you need this T-shirt? Hi, Niasha. So you understand it's all about me. Um, so how many of you can relate to this one? I was an innocent human being, and then my best friend came along. How many of you have a friend that really gets you into a lot of trouble? All right. And that's part of what you love about your friend. We were talking at lunchtime today, Niasha, about friendship and how to get friends and make friends and so forth. So you might be interested in that one. And so this one, I've read it out before, but I'm going to keep reading it because it really is fun. Um, well, congratulations on getting home, Beth. Well done, and hi there. Um, we are best friends. Always remember that if I fall, I will pick you up after I finish laughing. And some of you will relate to this one. You and I, we're more than friends. We're like a small gang. Actually, I have to say that. Um, I have to say that Marnie and I, when we are together, we're a small gang. You know, I, we keep threatening to go camping again together. I don't think I've been camping with her in so long. She was my 2IC, second in command. Um, Second in command on the leadership things that I did for so long. And we used to always be in the trailer together. And it's so funny. I read a quote from Oprah who said, if you can be in a small space with somebody for, 5 days and still come out laughing, you've got a friend. Well, Marnie and I would literally be in that small space for, 4 days at a time and literally get very little sleep and still come out laughing and very high stress and still come out laughing. And that's when I knew that she was going to be a friend for a long time. She puts up with me, goodness only knows why. But she can do things, I don't know if you've got a friend like this, but she can do things that are really klutzy, and she does it with such grace and elegance that you don't know whether to cry or in my case, I just burst out laughing. But she does it so well. Not a lot of people do accidents with elegance, and she does. Um, okay. So Niash is saying, yeah, I saw it pop up in my news feed, but couldn't come in. That's quite all right. But I've made the decision to also listen to the replay. I'm listening to the one from Sunday. Yes, the Soul Sunday. Hi there, Nana. Good to see you. We're talking fun quotes about friendship. And good friends, people, don't let you do stupid things alone. How many of you remember when Angela and I were together? We got up into all sorts of trouble together, right? Right. Now, how many of you and how many of you know this one? I will text you 50 times in a row and feel no shame. You're my friend. You literally signed up for this. Or how about this one? We've been friends for so long, I can't remember which one of us is the bad influence. And please remind me, if ever on a broadcast, Austin comes in again, would you remind me who that is? in case I have an old person's moment and forget. And the reason I say that is I don't I don't want to get caught up by Austin again. Once was enough, right? You think I would have caught on with that I didn't. There's nothing better than a friend. Well, other than a friend with chocolate. It was so funny. I was saying this, I might have mentioned it to you, but it was really funny how my brother was so aware of the fact that, I was allergic to garlic, and he's known that for many, many years. But, he didn't seem to get it that I was also allergic to sugar. Isn't that funny? It was like he didn't see that. And so he kept lining up chocolate for me. He literally would, after dinner, sit down with a cigar and a coffee and um, a cigar and coffee, and then he'd line up the chocolate pieces, and so it was really strange. And going, I really have to word it better about what pre-diabetic means, because I couldn't resist it. I chose not to resist it. I could have resisted it. I think we're friends forever because we're too lazy to find new friends. Have you ever felt like that? Look, I got these friends. I can't be bothered to get any more. Now, there's some truth in this one. I think there's also some truth in relationships on this one. Real friendship is when your friend comes over to your house and then you both just take a nap. How many of you have done that, where you've had a friend come over and you decide to sit and watch a movie, but you both watch the movie with your eyes closed? I'm quite good at doing that. But that's a friend, because you would only fall asleep if you felt that relaxed. Think about that one. Yeah, Jodi's done that. Yeah, absolutely. And how about friendship is finding people who are your kind of crazy. Okay? I've always said that to Marnie. All right, welcome back, Nyasha. I've always said that to Marnie. And hi, did I say hi to Nana? I hope I did. That you've got to be the right sort of crazy to be my friend. You've got to have all sorts of, we were talking about friendship at lunchtime, but you need to have all sorts of little quirks to you. You hopefully have a really weird sense of humor. You probably are, able to talk quite in depth about certain things. That you are not, what shall I say? Intimidated by me in any way. We just equals, and you don't try to be superior. And it's amazing, all these little quirks, and if all those little things fit in, you're probably going to be my friend. Beth is saying my co-worker threw up all over the bathroom at work today because of chemo. Oh, I put on my rubber gloves and cleaned it all up. She smiled and said, "You really are a true friend." You know something, Beth? We all need a friend like you. I would think that is the ultimate in friendship in a lot of ways. Yeah, I want to see something. Beth is saying, little does she know that I would do that for anyone. If I see suffering, then I act. Yep. It's really funny. I tell the story, Beth, about being in hospital visiting. I was in the emergency ward with a friend of mine, and I saw somebody who obviously had been in a car accident and they were totally on their own. And I so relate to it, Beth, because I said to my friend, "Hang on a second. I've got to go and be that person for that person who's just been brought in and has nobody with them. And I walked over and I said, is there anybody I can phone for you? Is there anybody that needs to know you're here that I can help you with? And she looked at me and went, what sort of a do-gooder are you? Are you a candy striper or something? And you know me, and I went, actually, no. I'm actually a friend of the lady who just got brought in over there. And you looked like you might need some help. So I thought I'd come and try and give it. But don't worry, I got it. You don't need any help. I'm so sorry to have bothered you. And I turned to go and she said, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, yeah, that would be a good answer. Now then, can I phone anybody for you? And she said, actually, yes. And I said, there we go. Now I'm willing to do it for you. But it was funny how her first reaction was not to accept any help. Yes, Beth, isn't that true? Beth is saying it sounds like she wasn't used to somebody who cares about other people. That is so true, Beth, right? And was suspicious of everybody. Why would anybody come over and offer to help me, right? Well, hello, have you met Sal? Or Beth, or Jody, or Nana, or Niesha, Isabel. The reason that we all get together is because we all understand that it's what we do. We care. And so, for us, I'm certain if I'd walked up to you in hospital because I saw you were alone and said, is there anybody I can phone for you? You probably would have thought, how kind, right? Where's this woman? Who are you? Some sort of candy striper or something? And I went, I tried not to take it too personally. All right, now this one, think about this one, people. Oh, what is a candy striper? A candy striper is somebody who volunteers at the hospital to sort of be they're just a volunteer. They do little things for people who are in emergency or whatever. Can somebody give me a proper definition of a candy striper? Thank you for asking, Niasha, because you're not the only one that doesn't know what a candy striper is. There you go. Isabel didn't understand it either. And I'm sorry for using the jargon. A jargon being, I presume people knew that one. It's a patient care service coordinator. Only Jody, right? No, absolutely. Hi, Ali. Good to see you. Yeah, it's really, maybe it's a North American thing. I'm not sure, but apparently they don't have it in Quebec either. How about this one? You don't have to be crazy to be my friend. I'll train you. I should have that T-shirt made. Yeah, that would be easy for me. All right, that'd be a great T-shirt for me. Beth is saying, I would hope that everybody in the world would be more apt to help someone without being entitled to receive something in return. The gift of helping others is its own reward. Yeah, I quite agree. Oh, no problem, Niasha. Yes, we know it's your alley, Nana. Well, I'm delighted that you asked because you also helped Isabel in that one. And how about this one? I hope we're friends until we die, and then I hope we stay ghost friends as we walk through the halls and scare the living daylights out of people. Ooh, it's that time of year, isn't it? Now, this one is seriously something that we all need to put somewhere in our house because, we need to remember this one. Real friends don't get offended when you insult them. They smile and call you something even more offensive. How many of you have had that happen? where you're with a really good friend of yours and you go, you say something that is a little bit offensive, and it just rolls off their back and they come back with something far worse, and you both end up crying with laughter. He spent 3 hours on what? I'm not sure what that is. 3 hours on what? Ellie was on a commercial on TV when she was little. I'm not surprised. All right, so here is the next one. I want to be the reason you look down at your phone and smile and then walk into a pole. By the way, have any of you ever done that? Have you ever been looking at your phone and you're tripped over something or done something horrible like that? I try not to walk and read at the same time. Yes, I know. Beth is saying baby Lily. It's Lily Rose, isn't it, Beth? I want to make sure I got the name right. I know she's in my system. You'll see her on DearMamaSal.com. It's showing that it's her birthday coming up on the 10th. And she's one already and walking. More falling than walking. Yeah, I know that feeling. That is so great. Oh, and he's copying CDs of Ali's commercial. Okay, a little off topic. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm missing something. How did we come up with this one, Anna? Just so I understand. Yeah, and it's amazing when you think about Lily Rose being a year old already. What a quick year, right? Yeah, I agree, Jody. So how many of you also go, I like your weirdness? I'm sorry, I like you because you join in on my weirdness. And I think that's the interesting thing. We were saying that we never ever sort of double check. We sort of see this person, we listen to them, we go, oh, I like this person. Based on the strangest things. All right, so Nana's saying my youngest will be 2 this year. But I have 5, so I lose track. Yes, it's very easy to do that. I want to tell you that anybody who's got grandchildren, I admire you for being able to keep track. The only way I can keep track on the twins and Juliana is I know that Juliana was born the year I started Dear Mama Sal. So however many years I've been doing Dear Mama Sal is how old she is. Means she's going to be 7 this year. She's going to actually next month. And then I know the twins are 2 years younger. I think I'm right in that. I sort of have to do it the hard way. I'm certain you've all got your own way of working out how old everybody is. Wow. Hang on a second. Niesh is saying, I used to be that individual. I'd say used to be because after what happened at work, I'm not helping anybody anymore because I've noticed time after time, I was the only one doing the helping. And it was not given back. And the way my mind works, if I help you, I expect something back. And I get so depressed. So unfortunately, there'll be no more of that. Actually, something? It's not about them. Just drop the expectation. Just help people because that's who you are. And I believe that is who you are, Nyasha. All you need to do is let go of the expectation of getting nice back again. I quit smoking in the Juliana's birthday. Actually, you're right. I started Dear Mama Sal in on August the 25th, and it was the following. You're quite right, Nana. Yes, that was the year that Juliana was born in October, but then I stopped smoking in January the 12th when I went down to go see her. Friends come and go like the ocean, like waves of an ocean. But the true ones, they stay like an octopus in your face. Right. So, um, something happened when my brother was here. It was really weird. He said something, and he was telling me a story about somebody, and he said, the guy had no sense of humor at all. And I said, why? What do you mean? He said, well, I said X, Y, and Z, and he reacted like I'd been rude. And I said to him, that's because you were. And he went, no, I was being funny. I said, there's nothing funny about what you said. You were being rude. I find that quite amusing. All right. So how many of you relate to this one? I can tell by your sarcastic undertones, your rude comments, and sheer lack of common decency that we should be best friends. Now, this next one is definitely me. I am the friend you have to explain to your other friends before they meet me. I am definitely that friend. It's about Sal. What was it somebody said? A little intense. It's so funny because I was at a dinner party soon after that. And in the middle of the dinner party, I said, you can't believe what somebody said about me, that I was a little intense. And I leant over the table and looked somebody straight in the face. And I said, you don't find me intense, do you? And the whole... Yeah, I'm like that, right? And some of you understand this one. Friends buy you food. Best friends eat your food. How do you drop expectations? You choose to do it. Yeah, sure. I choose just to be who I am. I'm a nice person. I'm only responsible for my behavior. Nyasha, I need you to write that down. I am only responsible for my behavior. You're not responsible for anybody else's, nor should you care. You see, be a nice person because that's who you are. The fact that they're not, who cares? Their stuff, not yours. You spend your whole life, hoping that you're going to find people just like you. Well, you're not going to. Very few of them. And when you do, you'll be pleasantly surprised. You see, you're expecting people to be kind and generous and thoughtful as you are. And that's why you get so bitterly disappointed. I no longer expect that. And, I go, oh, you're actually a nice person? That's nice to know. Right? But I don't expect it anymore, Nyasha. And here are some more things about this friendship stuff. What is a queen without her king? Well, historically speaking, more powerful. Okay, Beth is saying, I can't stand one of my coworkers. I tend to go out of my way to be extra nice. I kind of laugh about it because I know she's really thinking, because I know she is really thinking, why do I not like her? Yeah, that is a skill. Beth, if you can be nice to people you don't really like, that is a real skill. And, you are to be commended for it. Not everybody can do that. How many of you believe that you are a limited edition? I'm proud of it. All right. So, Nyasha, I understand. I understand what you're saying. Do you want me to repeat that out loud, or? Because it is. I totally get that you have that problem, but you're learning how not to have it. That's what I want you to concentrate on. You are working on not having that issue. And that is the important thing. The same as I'm working on not being obese. All right. Somebody calls me obese, I don't get upset. You know why? It's true. And this is the whole thing, right? The thing is, if I don't let the words hurt me, then they have no power. Yeah. Okay. So Nyesha is saying, Mama Sal, I'm finding it difficult to forget that my boss called me physically challenged. What if she called you a car? Would you be upset? What if she called you spotted? Would you be upset? You see, they're just words. And, the thing is to put in that filter that goes, hey, what they think of me is really none of my business. But, and Yesha continues to say, I understand what you said about that person again. But sorry, I understand what you said, but I'm that person again, where if you hurt me, I literally don't want to see you. I am certain we have a lot of viewers who feel like that, but we're working towards you not feeling like that. All right. And that is the power, is when you don't feel like that. And you're doing a great job. You will get there. Don't worry. In time, you will get there. Try to be patient with yourself. But Niasha's saying, but not in this case. I literally have to see her every day because she's my boss. Others tell me to drop it, but my mind won't allow me to. That's your choice. You make that choice every day. Am I sure that we can all get there? Isabel, I'm sure we can all get there if we're working towards it all the time. If we're constantly working towards that. Yes, I do believe that. All right. The same as, Jody wanted to be able to use her legs again. And she started off by literally doing, I think it was 5 leg lifts were a major problem for her. And now she's walking upright and steps. And now she can cook an omelet, without being in a wheelchair. Hello, how did she do that? She did that slowly. All right. And she didn't do it by expecting anybody else to do anything for her. She knew if she wanted to change that, she was going to need to do it for herself. And I do believe, Isabel, that anybody who consistently works on their mental health and their emotional well-being, right, their emotional IQ, anybody who consistently works at that, I do believe that they will be able to get that filter going. Yes. May take a lifetime. It took me a lifetime. Isabel. And Isabel, every now and then somebody will say something and it hurts me. And I go, oh, I allowed that to hurt me. Got to work harder at this. All right. And so to me, every time somebody says something that hurts me, I take that now as a learning lesson. I need to be doing more work on myself to stop those things hurting me. Yeah. Yes. And, Daniel's not altogether wrong. Isabel's saying Daniel always tells me you give away your power, or don't take it personally. You hate those words just because they're true, because you can feel that you give away your power, right? And you do take it personally because you don't know how not to. So you relate to what what Niesh is talking about, right? You haven't quite built up that resistance yet, Isabel, but you're working on it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Of course, it's about you, honey. Okay. It's not about them. It's about us. All right. All right. Yes, Nyasha, totally agree with you. Nyasha's saying sometimes it's easy to view it as a teaching moment, telling me not to open up too much about the personal aspects of my life. Other times I see it for what it is. Yeah, it's I totally agree with you, Nyasha. I just need you to be patient if you can, and just know that you're getting better. Yes, Beth says, I am physically challenged, right? I let them know I have issues that day. At first, it was awkward, but if I'm walking funny, they just laugh and say, Beth's brain babies, all right? That means her tumors are acting up. Yeah. And, I'm physically challenged. Jody is physically challenged. Definitely Beth is physically challenged, all right? And some of us are emotionally challenged. Because she lied? What did she lie about? Because that's what you need to get clear on. Did she lie? All right, so Beth. Yes, exactly. You are different, right, from the average person, but you actually hold your head up because you have an awesome attitude, and not only that, you do twice as much as an able-bodied person. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I think you are such an amazing role model for people because you don't use excuses on anything, Beth. You are amazing because you don't give excuses. You just go, that's what I want to do, so I'm going to do it. And not, oh, well, if I were feeling better, I'd do it or whatever. No, you just go and do it. And, I think in that you are an incredible role model for people about, do you want to do what you want to do, or do you want to carry on giving excuses why you can't do it? I think of you a lot when I'm talking to people. Yes, Beth is saying, no doubt her illness makes her stronger. Jody, I am pretty sure that your illness ended up making you stronger because you needed to be. And Jody's saying, Beth, you never look for excuses, just options, like Sal. Very inspiring. Well, thanks for that. Nyasha, Beth, it's not that I dislike the word physically challenged, but for me, that word needs to come in from a family member, not a stranger. No, no. If you're physically challenged, it can come from anybody because it's the truth. All right. Everything is a perception. But you think that physically challenged is a bad thing. You see, I don't. Beth doesn't think that being physically challenged is a bad thing. It just is what it is. It's like if somebody said to me, "Oh, you're old." Well, hello, yes, that's true. It's the truth that you don't want to hear, Nyasha. You had a back injury that makes you dizzy. That is physically challenged. All right. You have other issues that we won't discuss that are physically challenging for you. So to me, it's about why don't you want to hear that from anybody when it's true? All right. I have incredibly long nails, and people will stop me and go, "Why do you grow your nails that long?" And I go, "Because I can." Right? It's like, really, who cares? Um, So I want you to think about that, Nyasha. We love you to bits. You're doing such great work. You are getting there. Really, honey. Just take it easy. Keep learning. You're going to get there. How many of you relate to this quote? Friendship is born at the moment when one person says to the other, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one." How many of you have built a friendship with those words? Or you've sort of seen somebody on the chat and you're not sure if you like them, and suddenly you find out they do the same thing that you do, and you go, "Oh, I like them now." Yes, Jody. Great with words, right, Nyasha? They are just words to describe a medical condition. They do not define who you are, right? They just they just describe a condition. The same as old isn't who I am. It is literally a fact about I am of that age. It doesn't mean that I'm old in my thinking or old in my whatever. It's just that 72 is considered old. Hello. I wish everybody got old like I do. It would be, you know, amazing, wouldn't it? And how many of you believe this of your friends? It doesn't matter where you're going, it's who you have beside you. How many of you have found that you have managed to walk incredible paths because of the people who were there to support you? Nana, I'm thinking about, all that you went through last year and the incredible friendships you had around you in your community and how that helped you through that time. Or Jody, weren't you lucky to have a Lionel in your life at a time when you most needed one? An unconditional, let me stop working so I can look after you, Lionel. Yes, we all wish for that level of friendship. And just because a person is a spouse doesn't mean that you will necessarily get that level of friendship. You lie. Yeah, that's cute. Jody's saying a Lionel, a Sal, a Lauren. Yes. And so I think, look at what that is. It was so hard. We know it was so hard, Nana. And you made it through. And that is the important thing. But you made it through not on your own. You're right. People cared. Nyasha's saying, she denies saying those words to me and making it out that I was the one that was disrespectful when in fact it was just a reaction to me disliking you still reacted, right? She's right. You reacted. And doesn't matter why. You see, if you are disrespectful, that's on you, not on her, regardless of what she said. All right. So you are doing an awesome job. Just take it easy and be patient, please, Nyasha. You're learning a lot. Beth said, I learned more from the people that don't support me. Thanks to them, I'm stronger and happier, and I know they're losing out, not me. Yeah. And Nana's saying, Ali was such great support. Yes, isn't it wonderful to have that support from a granddaughter? I'm certain that made you very happy. And Ali is saying, my friend of 5 years and I became friends after arguing about a grammatical correctness of a song lyric. Yes, like if I were a rich man, how do you like that for grammar, Ali? I get every time I can't sing the song because the grammar is wrong. Isn't that funny? Um, it is really strange. Ali, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, how many of you have had that problem where certain songs, the English grammar is so bad that you just can't relate to the song? I cannot tell you how many times I keep going after if and wish comes were, not was. So if I were a rich man would be correct. It's just like they don't care, do they? How about this one? How about sitting next to you and doing absolutely nothing means absolutely everything to me? How many of you don't need your friends to do anything or be anything? You just want to be with them. Well, Nana, it's interesting. Have you got anything in your life that you haven't been able to let go of the hurt on? I'm pretty sure you have. And that, then you will understand how it's easy not to let go if you want to hold on to it. Or if you don't know to let go of it and that you're holding on. So, but very good advice. All right. If we hold on to things, it's going to continue to hurt. All right. And so, Nyasha, I'm going to do you a big favor. All right. We've been hearing this story for quite a few weeks now. All right. What do you want us to do to help you? Do you want us to carry on listening to the same story every week? Or do you want us to say, Nyasha, we don't want to hear it anymore? Let it go. Or do you want us, I understand that this person didn't support you at a time when you needed the support, all right? When you were up with your superior. But what I've heard from you is that your superior totally gets your medical condition. Therefore, you have greater strength than your boss. Your superior understands. And I've had it happen where people have said the most hurtful things to me, and it's hurt for a long time, but it's not going to change. Hating them is not going to make them change. Yeah, Nana, I think about, you've got an issue that comes up for you regularly that you're still hurt so deeply on. And you're saying that praying on that helps you to let go? That's awesome. So that's being a good friend. So Nyasha, pray for your boss to learn better skills. Don't punish her. Feel sorry for her. But remember, you reacted. That reaction was on you. Time, Nyasha, you will need time to let it go finally. All right? It'll keep coming up. You're grieving. It is a type of grieving. Nana, would you agree with that? That when somebody hurts you like that, you lose something. So big hugs. All right? You can do this. Just be patient with yourself. I keep saying imagine for a second that you are Lauren. In 1 week, she lost her grandfather and then her grandnephew, all in 1 week. Can you imagine what that must have felt like for her? She waited a lifetime to meet her biological grandfather, and then, her grandnephew took one breath and died. You know, that's grieving, and I will forgive Lauren almost anything for the next year. Yes, Nana, that's the honesty of it, right? Nana has got something that triggers her, and she's 61 and still working on it. So be patient with yourself, please, Nyasha. Good. All right, let's move on. A good friend knows all of your stories. A best friend helped you write them. Now, this one I think is. Oh, you're 60, not 61. Okay, well, congratulations on hitting 60. Friends pick us up when we fall down, and if they can't pick us up, they lie down and listen for a while. I think that is so true. Friends pick us up when we fall down, and if they can't pick us up, they lie down and listen for a while. And how about this one? How many of you agree with this? A friend who understands your tears is much more valuable than a lot of friends who only know your smile. So, Nyasha, you are welcome to continue to hurt, all right? And we will still hear you. Because we all have, those things that hurt us so deeply. And we're all working at letting things go, Nyasha. You think you're the only one, but you're not. So think about that, all right? Think about the fact that we all have to let go of things. You're not alone. And how about this one? Friendship is a long journey through the hills and valleys of our life, all right? Friendship is about that we travel this road together. Right. Nyasha, understand it's going to continue to hurt until you decide not to let it hurt you anymore. That's the point. I don't think Lauren is in the broadcast today. But Jody, perhaps we can make a note just to pass that on to Lauren. Because it is important. There are people that are dealing with incredibly difficult losses. Throughout your life, you will meet one person who is like no other. You could talk to this person for hours and never get bored. You could tell this person things and they will never judge you. This person is your soulmate, your best friend. Don't ever let them go. Some of them are called Rick. Some of them are called Lionel. Some of them are called all sorts of different names. All right. But be so grateful that they are in our lives. Some of them are called Allie. Some of them are called Sal. You know what I mean? It's like we all have these people, and that's why friends are so important. And it doesn't matter whether they're real life friends or how many of you feel that you've made real life friends but on the internet? And people say to you, they're not real friends. Well, I found out that quite a lot of my internet friends are better friends to me than a lot of my real life friends in some ways. Right. So, I encourage you to understand the value of friendship. That's what we were talking about at lunchtime. Why having friends so important in your life. How many of you still have childhood friends, are still in touch with your childhood friends? And I must admit that is a real weakness for me. I am not. I can think of lots of excuses why I'm not. I traveled so much, so I lost touch. But I think I lost touch with my last childhood friends in my 30s. And, that is a really important thing to know, that some of us have those friendships and some of us don't. Some of you have managed to still be in contact with your childhood friends, and I think that's beautiful. Only those that care about you can hear you when you're quiet. It's something that people are always quite surprised at, the people very close to me, or no, people that actually get close to me, that I'm a lot quieter than they thought I would be. Once I finish being on performer mode, when I'm just myself, I'm a quiet person in a lot of ways. And so, I think that's true friendship, when they not only know that, but they can take both sides. Right. Nana's saying that her childhood friends were her cousins. Um, how many of you, are any of you still in touch with your school friends? Allie's probably raising her eyes and going, of course. But for those of you who are a little further away from your school time, how are you doing? And this next quote comes from Winnie the Pooh, and we know how wise Winnie was. If there is ever a tomorrow when we're not together, there is something you must always remember. You are braver than you believe. You are stronger than you seem. You are smarter than you think. But most important thing is, even when we're apart, I'll always be with you. I'm hoping there are people in my life that feel that way. I know I have people in my life that I feel that way about, that even when they're not in my physical presence, I can hear them talk to me. Ali says, I only have 2 friends that I'm not related to, and I'm dating one of them. That is so cute. And would you agree that a friend is somebody who knows all about you and still loves you? Jody is still in touch with her closest friend from grade school. Wow, that is amazing. And would we all agree, and this is what we were talking about at lunchtime, the only way to have a friend is to be one? All right, so Nyasha says, my apologies to all of you for having to listen to the same situation with me over and over, but that's how your mind is, all right? I would literally speak of it until it goes away, and I would try to forget it. You know something? We understand that, Nyasha. You will keep talking about it. It's okay. All right? That is okay. But we're only going to give you a certain amount of time each broadcast to do that, right? We're not going to let you go on ad nauseum. You're allowed to bring it up. You're allowed to talk about it. but only for a certain amount of time. Right? Is that fair? Beth is saying, weird that I think of myself as my own best friend. Maybe because I can now see myself differently. I used to hate myself, but I changed. I can hear myself when I'm alone, and I no longer my own worst enemy. Yes, Isabel is also walking that path with you, Nyasha. You're not alone. I also want to repeat the words, if I may, from Helen Reddy's incredible song, My Best Friend. Is that okay if I repeat those words? And, you know, I really encourage you to look up this song on YouTube and listen to her sing it. Helen Reddy asked, would you be kinder to yourself? And would you be more forgiving of your human imperfection if you realized your best friend is yourself? For who is always with you everywhere? And who is on your side when others are unfair? And tell me, who will never let you down in any situation? Who will always see you get your share? And that's why I'm the best friend for myself. And I take me out whenever I feel low. Have I made myself as happy as a best friend would? Yes, I'm as nice to me as anyone I know. I think those are incredible words. I have been quoting that song for a lifetime because I think those are the most important words to remember. And if you wonder, does the way you say something make a difference to anybody? Let me do the same words again, but this time without any emotion to it. Listen to this and see if it's different. Would you be kinder to yourself, and would you be more forgiving of your human imperfection if you realized your best friend is yourself? For who is always with you everywhere, and who is on your side when others are unfair? And tell me, who will never let you down in any situation? Who will always see you get your share? And that's why I'm the best friend for myself, and I take me out whenever I feel low. Have made myself as happy as a best friend would. Yep, as nice to me as anyone I know. And that is the difference, in my view. Because when you really hear, would you be kinder to yourself? And would you be more forgiving of your human imperfection if you realize that your best friend is yourself? For who is always with you everywhere? And who is on your side when others are unfair? And tell me, who will never let you down in any situation? Who will always see you get your share? And that's why I'm the best friend to myself. And I take me out whenever I feel low. Have I made myself as happy as a best friend would? Yes. I'm as nice to me as anyone I know. And so I want you to think about that sometimes when you're with your friends, how about slowing down a bit and really listening? How many of you are lucky enough to have a friend where you keep finishing each other's sentences because you know what they're going to say and they don't mind? They don't take it as being rude. They just laugh and go, yeah, exactly. I think that's wonderful, Nia, just saying that giving her only a certain amount of time to vent. She said, I think that's fine. It might be able to help me forget. Yes. And I'm going to keep reminding you, it's the same story, Nasha. All right? Just because I want to desensitize you to it. Right. And Jody's saying those words make me tear up when you read them with emotion. I'm not reading them. They're not anywhere except in here. Jody, I say them to myself a lot. All right. It's very important. Tennyson, who we know, hi there, Tube. Tennyson, who we know was an incredible poet, said, "If I had a flower for every time I thought of you, I could walk through my garden forever." Isn't that beautiful? So, if any of you got a friend that you might want to say that to, think about that. If I had a flower for every time I thought of you, I could walk through my garden forever. I try to make sure that, at least 2 or 3 times a week, I will write to one of my friends and just say, I just wanted you to know I was thinking of you as usual, but this time I decided to write and send you a hug because I love you. That's all. Don't need a reply, Nyasha. I just need to tell them. And how about a best friend? Good night, Nana. Have a good evening. It's early for you to go, but have a good night. A best friend is like a four-leafed clover, hard to find and lucky to have. Right? How many of you agree with that one? All right. So Niasha, says, thanks for helping me. My family members are trying to help by telling me they're fed up, but it's not helping. No, it's going to take time. Niasha, it's like anything that you're grieving. All right. It takes time to work it through. You need to process it in your mind. It's not that you're slow, honey. You use that reasoning a lot. It's not that you're slow. It's you need to process it. It will take time. All right. How many of you believe that true friendship is even more rare than true love? Um, okay, so I just want to check. Beth is saying that it's frozen for her. So if it is, you might want to just refresh it. Yeah, okay. Boob saying that it's fine. Good. So I look at friendship as a very precious gift. All right. I believe that friendship, I consider your friendship as a very precious gift. Sometimes, it's not as precious as others, but most of the time it's a very precious gift to me. Boob saying, I refreshed before I got here. I washed my face. Yeah. Do you know something really funny on that one, Boob? I nearly always put on perfume before I do a broadcast. Isn't that weird? It makes me laugh. I'm going, why do you do that? But it's just like a routine for me. I've got this routine, and part of it is that a smell-o-vision. Yeah, it's very good perfume, right? It's Paloma Picasso's original, and it's beautiful. See, Nyasha, that's how we learn things. Nyasha saying, I didn't know I was grieving. Yes. That is what grieving feels like. It comes in waves, and some days you're okay with it, and some days you're not. And some days you will think about it all day, and some days you manage to get through nearly the whole day without it. Anybody that's in grieving will tell you they know what that feels like. It's a process. All right. And you are in that little bit of grieving. You remember I said to you there is a cycle of loss whenever we lose something. Friendship, whether it's friendship, a friend, or whatever, there is a pattern to it, Nyasha. Jody, I wonder if you would be good enough to remind me to send that to Nyasha again so that she can see it again. There you go. Wow. Nyasha's now saying, okay, well, now I'm going to search for some tips on Google on how to get over it. That's exactly what's happening. Yes, I know it is, honey. And it will take time. All right? And you're doing a great job. And look at you. You're now prepared to help yourself. Way to go. And keep talking about what you found and if it's working or not. Because we will keep coming up with more ideas on what you might be able to do about it. But first thing is understand you are grieving. This is a loss. You lost something. All right? You trusted somebody and they broke the trust. That is a loss. And how about this incredible quote about friendship? The world is round so that friendships may encircle it. I think that's beautiful, don't you? The reason the world is round is so that friendships can encircle it. And I know a lot of you remember Maya Angelou when she said, be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud. All right? Be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud. And so, how many of you have ever grieved anything? Be it the passing of Peanut or, all these things that we know have happened in our lives. I'm pretty certain everybody will relate to that feeling that Nyasha has. It's a horrible feeling, isn't it? It hurts. Sometimes I can remember, Nyasha, feeling like somebody had taken my heart and absolutely torn it, literally pulled it apart. It hurts so much. Does it feel a bit like that? When I was betrayed, I can remember that being a most terrible feeling. Right. Beth's even saying, I grieved for the loss of my smoking. Like my ciggies were my best friend. They were, by the way. Always there when I needed a pick-me-up. Silly, but I loved smoking. You know something? I totally agree with you. I miss my best friend too. They whenever we needed a break, right, they were there for us. Whenever we needed to think, they were there for us. So I totally relate to that, Beth. Thank you for your honesty again, because it is so true. Anybody who's had an addiction knows that feeling. And the very next quote that I've got here, Beth, says, a true friend is hard to find, difficult to leave, and impossible to forget. Right? How many slams are there in a screen door? Well, that depends on how loudly you shut it. How many slices in a loaf of bread? Well, that depends on how thin you cut it. And how much good inside a day depends on how good you live it. How much love inside a friend? It depends how much you give them. Can I read that again? How many slams in that old screen door? It depends how loud you shut it. How many slices in a bread? It depends how thin you cut it. How much good inside a day? It depends how good you live 'em. And how much love inside a friend depends how much you give 'em. Wow. Oh, oh, oh. You see, it's not about them, it's about us. Okay, so Niesh is going, yes, and my ego. I am a person, despite my illness, holds my head up high, and although I remember those days when I was younger, I didn't expect to hear it. Someone I felt she was looking down on me. Yes, yes, you felt betrayed and belittled. That's okay. If you can see that, Nyasha, you've done your work for today. Good girl. Well done. You can do this slowly. Be patient. It will continue to make more sense. And as it makes more sense, you will feel less pain. It's not that it isn't still hurtful, it is you will feel less pain because you will not have that expectation. Friends are the most important ingredient in the recipe called life. How many of you know that you get through the difficult times because of your friends, with your friends? How many of you want to give Niasha a hug right now? All right, as she goes through this difficult understanding. And you know, I can feel Beth going, if only I were there, I would. And I know Jody's thinking the same. So let me give you a hug, Niasha, from all of us. Well done. If you have good friends, no matter how much life is sucking, they can make you laugh. I have a daily challenge to inside my head, which is, can I make Jody smile today? Right? It's something, you know, we're in touch every day for one thing or another, and every day that's, you know, did I make Jody smile today? And you know, and Lauren, because Lauren reads the same feed. And, you know, to me, that's like, I don't have to work hard at it. I just have to be me. I think that would be true. If I'm just me and don't take myself too seriously or life too seriously, I can get Jody to laugh every day. More than smile, I can get her to laugh every day. And so, you know, to me, it's very important. If you have good friends, no matter how much life is sucking, they can make you laugh. I want to say that one of the things I've been talking to Erin about is she's dealing with this incredible loss of her daddy. One of the things I said to her is, Erin, I need you to remember it's okay to laugh. He would want you to find things to make you laugh. And, you know, I think one of the difficulties when you are grieving is that you feel you're disrespectful if you laugh. Well, no. It means that you are working hard at survival and coping with what's going on. The most I can do for my friend is simply to be a friend. And you know, that is true, isn't it? The most I can do for my friend is to simply be a friend, but the friend that they need. You know, you will hear me say many times, if you are ever struggling, you will hear me say many times, what can I do to support you right now? You know, it's not what I think you need. It's what can I do to support you right now? So let's ask Niasha that. Niasha, what can we do to support you right now? What would make it feel like we really hear you and care about you? Tell us how we can do that. And Beth, I am so proud of you for going on vacation. I know how difficult that must be for you to let them be without you. But they will learn a lot while you're away. And you will be frustrated when you get back unless they decide to show off and do such a great job. So, to me, this is like one of the most difficult things in life is to let go of things, right? And letting go of control is very, very difficult. I've always said to my staff, if I've done a good job, I can go away for most of the year. By the way, if I haven't, then I need to train you better. Beth, does that make sense? If I have done a good job as a manager or your boss, whatever, it means I don't have to be there because I have taught them what I know and what works. And that means I can go away. I wonder if that makes sense to anybody. And one of the things I've always done whenever I took on a new position, one of the first meetings I would ask in that meeting was, who wants my job? I'd like to know who to train. And people would look at me and go, are you leaving? I'm going, not yet, no. But the sooner I can get somebody trained to do my job, the sooner I will be able to do that if I want to. So who wants the job? You see, to me, I want to know who that person is. And if 3 people put up their hand, I go, oh, good, this is going to be fun. All right, Niesh is saying, Mama Sal, I do see situation and understand them also. In her mind, she believes that I should be happy. In fact, that I am no longer that way anymore. That's not who I am. I think you're right in that. When you can learn to be happy on your own without any input from anybody, when you can learn to be happy regardless of what they say to you, you will have learned a great deal. But we're all learning how to do that in different ways. And you're doing a great job, in my view. Cahill Gilbrand said, that's the guy who wrote The Prophet, by the way, in the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter. In the sharing of pleasures, for in the dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed. All right. In the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter. So to me, it's okay to laugh, regardless of what's going on in your life. It's okay to laugh. In fact, to me, if you can laugh when things are tough, when they are difficult, when it tells me that you have learned how to put things into perspective. And Beth is saying, I used to be the worst friend. I know both sides. Trust me, some of the worst people need just one person to smile, even though they don't deserve it. It's a freeing moment to let go. Yes, it is. It really is. It's a freeing moment not to care what they think. There's so many freeing moments that we have all learned, right? How about this for a definition of a friend? Best friends understand when you say forget it. They wait forever when you say just a minute. They stay when you say leave me alone, and open the door before you can say come in. You see, friendship is really important to us all. And friendship, to me, is so much part of my life. Um, I'm busy. Some of you know I've got Clarence the cleaner. Well, I decided I was going to um, do a friendly thing for Yvonne and get her Vicky the vacuum. And she's busy eating in the kitchen at the moment, which means I've got her plugged in, um, charging up. And so that hopefully by tomorrow she'll be all charged up and ready to go. And Yvonne will have her own little vacuum cleaner that doesn't need to be pushed. It'll just work when she wants it to. And to me, that makes me very happy because it will save her some time. And to me, it is about a very selfish act on my part, right? I know it was going to make her happy, so then therefore I'm happy. And Niesha Singh and Mama Sal, you all are already helping me. I've learned so much since I've found your channel. Would you believe I haven't had depression since this happened? Yeah, I would believe it. Thank you a whole lot. Well, I want to tell you, Niesha, thank you a whole lot. Because, for you to have learned what you have learned has not been easy for you. And, it reminds us all, and I always say this to people, all right, everybody that comes in with an issue, it helps us all remember. And that's important, I think. Jody, I was pretty sure that you had managed to stand up and cook a meal. I don't know why I asked that today, but I was pretty sure I was going to get the answer I did. You have been working so hard, and we are so proud of you. Okay, and now Jody's saying, there have been quite a few times that Sal has said, I know something's troubling you. What's going on? Even before I've said a word. It's uncanny. No, I'm not that clairvoyant, Jody. I'd love to tell you that I'm that good. You know why I know, Jody? It's not rocket science. You are a high communicator. Right? I would have to say that of you. You are a high communicator. And so if you break your routine, now you can break your routine because you're busy or because you've taken that injection that, makes you zonk out for a few hours. That's okay. I'm used to that. But if you are quiet for more than 4 hours, what do I know? Right? If you haven't bothered to check how I am in 4 hours, or how Lauren is in 4 hours. You don't have to be clairvoyant, Jody. I just have to ask the question, what's going on? Makes sense. Because a friend knows your routine, right? Makes sense, Jody. I am pretty sure that you've got a routine that you look for a pattern about when Sal wakes up. You know what time it's going to be between this time and this time, and it'll take her a while to get her first coffee, and she won't. Then she'll probably answer. She'll check the email to see if there's anything that's critical there first before she acknowledges that she's awake. Right? You know that pattern. You will notice that sometimes I answer on the fitness channel before I will say hi to you. You know that's how I work. All right, you've seen it. That's my routine. And so to me, it's you. If I change that routine, you would go, "What's up with Sal?" Right? If you don't see that pattern, you would automatically think, "What's up with Sal?" And you would probably send me a note and ask me. Okay, Cineastra says, what I mean is you taught us that depression is anger turned inwards. Thank you. I believe that. I've constantly repeated this. When it tries to re-enter my life, it immediately goes away. This is one situation which would have brought it back, but it never showed, thanks to you and everyone, thanks to the group. And thanks to you, Nyasha. All right? Because unless you buy into that concept, unless you can see that it's true, it wouldn't have helped you. You see, at some level, you looked at it and went, that's true. And when I get like that, I ask myself, what am I angry about? I do it all the time, Nyasha. I know what it feels like, believe you me. And I can feel that vortex, that spiral going down. And I'm going, okay, what are you angry about that you're not telling anybody about? What are you angry about? Think about it. Do something about it. And how about this one? When it hurts to look back and you're afraid to look forward, you can look beside you and your best friend will be there. I think if we all have one person that we know will be there for us, we are indeed fortunate. So I believe that part of supporting one another is to be that friend when they need it. And sometimes being a friend means you've got to be a bit tough. All right. Sometimes you do need to say, I'm not going to let you, spend 2 hours regurgitating this problem, going over it and over it. I'm going to let you say what you need to say, but after that, we're going to move on. And, I think that we all are learning as we go along. Yes, it's funny, Nyasha, Jody's saying, Nyasha, you brought a willingness to learn and a spirit of wanting to change for the better. And you've done great work. We are so proud of you. And Jody's saying, I'm proud of everybody in the group. Yeah, it's I think about Beth when she first came into the group. All right. And what a victim she was on so many levels. And yet in a heartbeat, once she understood what she was doing, it was like, it was miraculous to me. And that is why I've always said, doing this work is not about numbers, it's about people. And what is important is that we help one another. Right. And yes, you're saying, it is, because now I just ask myself, why am I angry? And I normally get the answer. And I've been doing something about it. Yes. We are so proud of you. Well done. And I look at Beth, who doesn't give excuses for anything, right? Who just wants to work and works harder than most people I know. And I think that's another thing for us all to remember as friends, all right? Which is limit the number of excuses you give your friends. Practice that. And if you hear yourself giving an excuse, well, I would have done it, but you go, sorry, I was about to give you an excuse. You deserve better than that. I'm sorry I let you down. Makes sense, people. We started with a smile and we went to some dark places here. But how many of you feel that that's what happens when you're amongst friends? Wow, what a great idea. Beth saying, I wonder what children think of friendship. How do they describe what they look for in a friend? We could learn from them. Yes. Jody, can you just put a note? What do children look for in a friend? I'm trying to remember. It was a long time ago. I don't think I looked for anything in a friend when I was a kid. I was just so grateful that somebody wanted to be my friend. How about the rest of you? What is your memory? I used to be quite surprised that people wanted to be my friend. I still am, actually. Pamela Durango said, I believe in angels, the kind that heaven sends. I'm surrounded by angel, and I call them my best friends. All right. Yes, isn't that true? Boob's saying, as kids, we were not as picky as adults. Yeah. Like they want to be with me. Okay, fine. Hello, you're my new best friend. um, how many of you notice that children have a lot of best friends? And if you call them on that and say, "Wait a minute, but you said Jane was your best friend," yeah, but Fred is too. And Jane, and then you'll find out that Eric is as well, and in fact they've got a whole football field full of best friends, and I find that interesting with children, right? Uh, and so to me, I was trying to think, who would I say is my best friend? I wouldn't. Today I have different friends, and I am so grateful for them all. What happens to adults that makes them so picky? Yes, it's a very good question. What do you think? Why do we? I think because of our experiences, I would have to say that if somebody has let us down, we get more picky next time. If somebody has hurt us, we don't trust as easily as we did before. Jody's saying, as a kid, I wanted someone to play Barbies with, to color with, to watch cartoons on Sunday mornings with them. Yeah, I do believe that, Boob, that life experiences makes us more picky. All right. You find out you can't trust them all. So therefore, I'm going to be a little bit more selective. You find out that you can't lend money to them all because, most of them don't return it. All those sort of things. It's called experience, life experience. Yes. So Isabel also relates to the Barbie story. I wanted somebody to play with my Barbies with me. Yeah. Which is one of the reasons when I go to visit the children, I ask them to teach me their new what I ask them to show me what's important to them at the moment. What's your favorite toy at the moment? I want to know that because it tells me a lot about them. What's your favorite book, Juliana? At the moment, right? Or to the twins even, what's your favorite book? All right, and Jody's saying exactly, Sal, after you've been burned by a friend, you put walls up and that changes the parameters. Yes, it surely does. I might say that I was totally shocked that not everybody believed the marriage vows. I can remember saying to two different husbands, excuse me, didn't you stand in front of me and say blah, 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 through in sickness and in health? Didn't you say that? Well, yeah, but it's not fun anymore. Well, hello, that didn't say in sickness when it's not going to be fun. It was in sickness and in health that you would love me. And you said yes to that. And how about, forsaking all others? How many of you know that one? I'm going, excuse me. Didn't you give this in a marriage vow? So that friendship changed very quickly for me. And when I realized that not everybody means what they say. Oh, isn't that cute? Jody's saying, Isabel, I wish we'd known each other as kids. We could have had a blast together. Well, I think you still can. Because you're both still very childish at heart. The Easy Bake Oven. How many of you remember that? Wow, isn't that amazing? Okay, that's interesting. Niasha saying the situation had me crocheting a doily. Wow. So you have learned to multitask. That is awesome. I think it's great. A creative thing to do is always a good thing to do. Now then, I've got to ask because it's important for some reason. Isabel, do you still have pictures of your Barbies? And Jody, do you? Because if so, I would love to help you too if you can't already, exchange those pictures because I'm certain there'll be great memories for you both. And Keith Miller said this about friendship. The way to love someone is to lightly run your fingers over that person's soul until you find a crack. And then gently pour your love into that crack. How about that? And this one to me is very important. Everyone hears what you say. Friends listen to what you say. And best friends listen to what you don't say. Right. Okay. So Niash is saying it's like you don't have to learn, right? It's like I have to learn that whenever I'm doing and gain that skill, now I'm going to get two doilies from this. So Niasha now, when she's processing, she becomes creative. That's awesome. I want to tell you, Niasha, that's a very clever thing to do, right? When I need to think, I paint. Good girl. I'm very proud. If you have learned to do that, that is awesome. And Isabel says, I think so, but it was heartbreaking when they sold my toys. I had everything, the plane, the camper, the house, the cars. And Jody chips in, I had the camper too, yeah. How many of you know there's a whole connection on Barbies now? Marie says, hi guys, I just got home from babysitting. Glad I could catch some of the live cast. We're glad you're here, honey. So you understand that we are all connected, right? In some cosmic way, we're all connected. And um, we're all relate to Niasha's stuff. We all relate to the pain that Jody has been through. We all understand that we have Beth's Energizer Bunny if we can just channel it out of our brains. And so, to me and Isabel, we've all got Isabel's incredible heart when she went all the way to New Jersey and took footage so that um, Jody could see what she was seeing. I will never, ever forget you for that, Isabel. I know it might sound strange, but that touched my soul when you did that. That was so caring of another human being. It was amazing. And so, I look at it and I say that we are all grieving something. And what makes grieving a little easier is the friendships we hold. And if you are short of friendships, then please listen to the cast we did at lunchtime today, because we discussed, how to get friends and why it's so important to have them. Yes, Jody's saying, that was so kind, that what Isabel did. She cried. I want to tell you, I'm sure you did, because I did. When I saw what she did, I cried too. And so it's the little things. How many of you feel that way? Right. Isabel is so excited. You know why? She says, and now it'll be a search for Barbie pictures that I can send to Jody. How many of you can just see Isabel going, yay? Does that feel good, Isabel? I think that is so cute. And yes, just saying, I actually went back to my creative side when we were learning how to prevent depression by doing what we can do. Yes. And not what we can't do. Good girl, Nyasha. You see, you're learning. I've always been creative, and I used to get laughed at. Yeah. Yeah. I want to tell you, don't ever let go of that creative. Nyasha, I've started making creativity an essential part of my day. I don't care how little I do. I just take one more step in creativity, because I don't care if I pick up one coaster and sign it. That's, I did something about my creativity today, and that's good for my soul. So Isabel, I am so delighted. I can just feel the joy that you and Jody are going to have exchanging Barbie things. By the way, I don't know if you know, Manon and I have known each other for nearly the whole life of Dear Mama Sal. And we regularly send each other pictures. All right. We call it the happy box. Now, obviously, for those of you who know Manon, if I see anything that's got anything pink in it, like a pink puppy or a pink dolphin or a pink horse or a pink whatever, a pink house, I will send it to Manon, because we know she has a thing about pink things. And I know that when I do, she's going to smile. And she will send me doggy pictures, puppies and things like that. And we don't have to put too many words around that. Half the time we don't put any words around it. We just send the pictures to one another. But how many of you know that is an act of great friendship? Because it takes a little time. Right. Nyasha's saying about this, when you feel the vortex trying to pull you down, do something creative. Nyasha's saying, but when I heard the explanation on how to prevent depression, I restarted the creativity and love it. It's my go-to now. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than the pills. I can tell you that. Manon, you're right, Jody. Manon is a very special soul indeed, and I hope her ears are burning. And she has struggled through so much in her life, and yet has this incredibly happy attitude most of the time. But like any human being, she has her down days too. And it's so funny, because I know that just every now and then I'm going to get, hi, Lauren. How are you doing, honey? Big hugs. Lauren, we need to tell you that Nyasha wanted to send you thoughts and prayers. She made a point of mentioning it, and I was going to do it when I next talk to you, but you're here. Nyasha, go right ahead. Leave her, tell Lauren what you wanted to tell her. So, I just want you to know that friendship is made up of little things, not big ones. And consistent little things that tell people that you're a friend. And it's the little things that make you smile. It is the little memories like Barbie dolls that make you smile. I think whenever I think about Marnie, I think about the day she rushed out of my trailer in the middle of the night to go and solve a problem that was going on at the, we were doing this leadership thing together, and there was an issue going on, and it was her turn to go fix it. And she rushed out of the trailer and she went running around the front of my trailer and forgot that there was a hitch there. And in the middle of the night, she hit that hitch with her knee. And I heard some words from her that I haven't heard very often. And the next thing was she went straight on and carried on her mission. She hit that hitch so hard that the whole of the trailer rocked. Most people would have spent a day in hospital after that. Not Marnie. Just a few short words and on with the rest of her life. I think about it, often. Whenever, and I keep saying to her, I will never get that image of that trailer rocking out of my mind. It is the little things. And Jodi's saying it's the little things have always meant the most to me. My friends are my heart. Yes. And Lauren is saying, thank you, Nyasha. I'm doing okay, thanks. Up and down like a yo-yo. And that is quite normal, Lauren. And remembering you're doing a double grieving, not even a single one. And that doesn't make it easier. That just means that you've got the yo-yos will be faster for you because you will come off one and then immediately hit another one. And so, we really have to say, Lauren, you are coping with this incredibly well, considering. You haven't cried yet. Is it normal? Something, who says you have to cry? I think it's possible to be incredibly sad without crying. Lauren, I don't know if you can believe this, but when my mom died, I did not cry. Because at some level, I was grateful that she died. The life that she was living, being bedridden and dependent on people, was not the person I knew. And I knew how miserable she was in that state. So I was happy for her when she passed. She was free again. And to me, I don't think that you have to cry to be sad. All right? Does that make sense? I don't think you have to cry to be sad. And the other thing is, the chances are, Lauren, that you probably have put up some pretty good defense systems so you don't feel too much. Life does that automatically. I also believe exactly what Jodi's saying. Jodi said, Lauren, everyone has their own process. I don't want you to think that crying means that you're processing correctly. I want you to think that maybe laughing will help you process better. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. The main thing is you are processing a loss, and you will do it in your own way. The main thing that I, as a friend, am watching out for, Lauren, is, are you withdrawing? Does that make sense? Because I know what happens to you when you get overwhelmed. And that's why you heard me say to you, I'm going to be keeping, yes, you're distancing yourself a lot. Okay, that's my concern. All right? Because you're distancing yourself because you don't think you can cope. But the question is, what are you doing? If you're distancing yourself and going and being creative, that to me is probably not a bad idea. But if you are distancing yourself and crawling into bed so you can sleep, so you don't have to think about this, you are, probably, going to have a bit more problem. Am I making sense, Lauren? Nyasha, You're doing great doing the creative stuff, and I'm glad you can feel the benefit. I'm so glad that you talked about that because it will help other people. The same as I'm saying to Lauren, she is grieving. And, I'm certain that she's pretty angry at a number of levels as well. And so being creative would be a very important part of grieving, to my mind. If you can really go, I am going to spend at least 1 hour a day being creative because it's going to balance out my mind. I think that would be a very healthy thing if you can get that discipline going. Easier to crawl into bed and do nothing. Healthier to be creative. Okay, so Lauren is saying, yes, it's definitely making sense. I'm staying in bed longer in the morning because I don't have the energy to get out of bed, but I'm trying not to sleep during the day. Good girl. All right. So you know the pattern, Lauren. You've done it. All right. You know the pattern well. And remember, the way you survive this is that you do something. Right. The same with Nyasha. When you're dealing with anger, do something, not to the other person, but do something for yourself. Go out and walk. Even if it's around just outside your house, backwards and forwards. But, go out and get some fresh air is a really good idea. Nyasha, I wanted to ask you, you live on a family property, right? Quite a few family members live on the same property. Is there a way for you to walk outside and be safe? And if so, I encourage you to do that because when you're angry, go and walk. The other thing, Benji taught me an interesting thing. He said that whenever he got angry, he cleans. And so every now and then, he we'll be talking about something, and he said, "Yeah, the house is spotless," and that means that he got angry about something. you know, I think that's such a good use of negative energy, Nasha. So you might want to think about that one as well. So everybody, I want to tell you that the value of friendship is greater than we give it credit for, I believe. And by the way, we do have these different levels of friendship, and some of them will come into our lives and then part again. And some of them will come into our lives and we'll travel a little time together before we part again. And some people will stay in the same orbit. It doesn't mean anything other than that's how friends happen. Some people that we think are going to be friends for a lifetime are not, and that's okay. They were there to teach us something, and we were there to teach them something. All right, so Niesh is saying I can walk around my house. So you can't walk outside at all on your own because of your vision. All right. I really would love to see you, be able to spend a little bit more time outside in the fresh air. Just being able to 10-minute challenge. Awful lot of blind people can do it. And you're not blind. So, this is like, think about how would that be possible? I want to thank everybody with you, Jody. And Jody saying thank you, Sal, and thank you everybody for being here and participating this evening. All right. I want to say that the friendship that we have here is very important to us all. And I want to thank you all for being part of it. I want you to remember that it's okay to smile and it's okay to cry and it's okay not to cry, Lauren. And it's okay to laugh, Lauren, if that's what happens. The main thing is that you don't withdraw and not feel the emotion. The way you process things is to deal with the emotion. So, Nyasha, the fact that when you're angry, you're now becoming an avid knitter and crocheting person, that is such a positive way to deal with anger. And Lauren, don't ever get tied up that there is a right way to grieve, because there isn't. Everything I've read about grieving. All right. And remember, okay, Boob, good to see you. And remember that all this happens in waves. You're going to have, tsunamis of grief hit you every now and then, and that's okay. I want to tell you all that it is an honor to be a friend. And I thank you for that trust. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, remember to smile. And it's not a bad thing, even when you're grieving. Remember to laugh. And remember to be a friend to the person who needs one. But be the friend that they need, not the one you need. And we will all remember that the way to get a friend is to be one. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, look after one another, but please remember to be a friend to yourself. Bye-bye for now.